Man, I'll tell you what, when you get started in wholesaling, it is so easy to get blinded by some of these applications, some of these CRMs and other programs, and just want to spend all this money and think that you need all of this stuff in order to run a successful wholesale business. When I started off, I definitely was not the most cost efficient. I wanted all the bells and whistles, all these programs. And in this video, I'm going to tell you what I wish I would have done when I went back, and I'm going to show you the most cost efficient way to run a wholesale business when you're starting off. That way you can work towards your first deal or handful of deals, and then when you have extra money, you can get the bells and whistles. So I'm going to show you some alternatives that you can use instead of spending all that money on these programs. So make sure you stay for the whole video. That way you get all of the alternatives to these more expensive programs. Enough talking, let's get into the video. So let's go back to where I first started. I was sitting at my desk. I was writing handwritten letters on yellow paper with red ink. I was filling out all these envelopes, and I sent out a ton of mailers. I think I sent out like 500, and I was so excited. I was like, I'm gonna get my first deal, let's go. And needless to say, well, not needless to say, I'm telling you right now, I did not get my first deal on that first set of mailers, and it was pretty discouraging. I put all this time, I was spending all this time writing these letters, and I got no deals out of it. I did get some response, but nothing. And direct mail is great, and it does work. I got my first deal from direct mail, but I don't think it's necessarily the most efficient way when you're starting off. I'm gonna show you the best way to have kind of an end around when you're getting started to direct mail. Now, if you have the budget, direct mail can be great depending on the market you're in. I'm in the Ohio market, and direct mail does work better than some other places. I've heard different results depending on where you live on the results you get from direct mail. Now, let's talk about Propstream. Everybody loves Propstream. I feel like every real estate investor uses Propstream. But I will say, if you watch my video where I teach you how I comp properties, I'll leave a link down below in the description. I actually use Zillow a lot when comping properties because you can actually look at the map and draw boundaries. So I look at Propstream to pull data such as maybe tax liens and other information, but Propstream pulls that from county websites and other data on the internet. So you're able to go to a county website, for example, and pull some of that data for absolutely free. It just takes a little bit more time and legwork. But in terms of actually running comps and looking at the map and running comparable sales, I use Zillow a ton, and Zillow is absolutely free. So you don't need Propstream when you're starting off. Propstream is nice because you can pull lists for free, but you will have to skip trace those lists, and I'm going to talk about that just in a bit. So next, it comes to direct mail. Like I said, direct mail is great. I still like direct mail, but I don't think it's the most cost efficient when you're starting off, because a lot of times direct mail, you have to hit these people over and over again and have a bunch of follow-ups, so it can get expensive when you account for all those follow-ups. You can be spending a couple dollars per lead. So what I like to do, and what I've started to do, and we've started to do more, my partner and I, is texting. I really do like texting. You can send, actually, with most of these platforms, it's about 4 cents a text, so you can hit 1,000 people for about 40 bucks.
Napoleon, don't be jealous that I've been chatting online with babes all day.
I also really like texting, not only because it's cost efficient, but you get an answer right away. So if you are ready to work all day, you can start sending out a lot of texts and start to create some, what we like to call chaos. Pace Morby, if you follow Pace Morby, him and his partner created chaos at the start, and that's what you want to do. You want to become overwhelmed with opportunity, because that's when deals will come.
Awesome. Yes!
I am back! Now it comes to pulling lists, okay? So pulling lists can get very expensive. So like I said, if you have Propstream, you can pull lists for free, which is awesome. But in order to get the phone numbers to skip trace and get those phone numbers, you have to pay to skip trace those lists. So although you do get the lists, you're going to get the mailing address for the owner. But again, if you're mailing out to them, then you have an extra cost on top of that to actually pay for the mailers, the paper, the penning, all that stuff, and it can add up.
Dollar bills, y'all.
Then you have other websites such as ListSource, so you can pull these lists and filter down on what criteria you want to search, and ListSource will automatically skip trace all of those and send it to you in a list. But again, when it comes to pooling lists, anybody can go on ListSource, Propstream, or any other application or database and pull the same list. Okay, so these tired landlord lists, probate, all these, they are lists that can have some motivation. That's great, but they also, those homeowners are getting contacted a lot. So what I think is the most efficient way, and what we've been trying to move towards in our business, is the more driving for dollars leads. So if you're watching this video, you probably know what driving for dollars is, but for those who don't know, that's where you actually drive around and actually look for distressed properties. Now, that's creating a unique list.
Now that's how you're supposed to drive. From now on, that's how you drive.
Okay, so some of these properties that you see that might have some distress to them, they might not be on all of these, non-absentee owner lists that people pull. Everybody loves the absentee owners. They might have an owner occupant who the home is in distress and they might want to sell. So don't be afraid to drive for dollars. I love driving for dollars. You can create a unique list, and we notice when we reach out to these people, they're definitely have a different approach towards us. You can tell they haven't been contacted a whole bunch. Now, of course, you're going to get some. They'll be like, I get text calls all the time, but you also get the other side on people that are like, no, nobody's ever asked to buy my home. And that's exactly kind of what you want. So if I were to buy one application when starting off, and now this is not a need, but I'm going to tell you why, is buy the Deal Machine app. I've used several different apps for driving for dollars, and I think Deal Machine, my partner and I have determined, we think's the best driving for dollars app. So Deal Machine's great. I believe you can virtually drive for dollars. If you don't have a car or you're wholesaling virtually, I think you can go on Google Maps. I think you can now actually just go to Google and drive for dollars, because Google Maps are actually pretty accurate. But I like Deal Machine because now you can drive around and write down addresses, and then you can use a skip tracing service such as Lead Sherpa, which is going to charge you about, I think, around 12 cents per skip trace to get the phone number, mailing address, and all that. So you can do that, but I really like the Deal Machine app because it tracks where you've already driven, so you're going to make sure that you have not driven on a street before. So if you're driving around writing down addresses, you might, if you don't keep track, you might be driving down a street for a second time. And I just like to have everything tracked and see what part of my area that I've covered, or we have actually a driver that we hired that drives for dollars for us and adds leads into the Deal Machine app, which is nice as well. I really like how you can just take a picture of the house. Even if you want to send a postcard, it'll upload it right up and you can send a postcard with a picture of their house. But you also can just add all these leads in and make it super easy as you drive by. You can click on the app, click add lead, boom, it's in, and then you can go home and skip trace it. And then from there you can text, and it's really going to keep your cost down.
Pretty cool, pretty damn cool.
And then last but not least, there are platforms such as Callrail, which is great, which is where it'll give you a number, and when people call you, it is linked to a certain campaign. So if you send out mailers, it tells you, hey, they're calling from mailers. If you have a Craigslist ad, they're calling from Craigslist. Callrail is great. I use Callrail starting off, but again, I don't think Callrail is a necessity. Google Voice is a great option. You can get a free number with your area code to wherever you're calling, because you don't want to have an area code from somewhere else, and they'll actually call you through your Google Voice number that will ring to your phone, and it's a free number. Of course, you don't have the call recording that you can get from Callrail, but again, when you're starting off, you might not have all the bells and whistles, and I don't think you need to have all the bells and whistles. Work on getting your first deal, grind it out so you get that first deal, and then once you have that first deal, you're working with your profits, and you can budget, and you can actually see what you want to afford. And if you get your first deal, you don't have to put it all in and upgrade right away to the nicest things. If it's working and the process that you're using is working, don't change it, especially if you have a cost-efficient way to market and come across sellers and do deals. Don't change it. But I hope this video helped you guys have a different perspective on having a more cost-efficient wholesale business, especially when you're starting off, because I know how hard it is. So if you're having any other struggles with your wholesale business, please leave a comment down below. I'd love to help out and answer any questions. And if I don't know the answer, I definitely can find out the answer for you. But anyways, guys and girls, thank you so much for watching the video. Again, make sure to smash the like button, smash that subscribe button, notification bell. That way you don't miss any videos. And until next time, Evan Dante signing out. Peace.